When Adrian Blackwood's private jet touched down hours earlier than planned, he felt a rare, restless pull in his chest, an instinct he hadn't listened to in years. The board meeting in Zurich had ended abruptly, the deal finalized faster than anyone expected, and instead of celebrating with investors, Adrian chose to fly straight home. For most of the world, he was a cold, calculating billionaire. For his twins, Oliver and Theo, he was a distant shadow who appeared in their lives between business calls and long absences. As his car rolled through the iron gates of the estate, he noticed something strange immediately: laughter. Not the polite laughter of guests or the rehearsed courtesy of staff, but real, unrestrained children's laughter echoing through the manicured garden. Adrian frowned. His twins were usually reserved, quiet, guarded, just like he had been at their age. Stepping out of the car, he followed the sound until he froze at the edge of the lawn. There, in the golden afternoon light, stood the new nanny, Clara, calm, composed, dressed simply, holding a wooden seesaw steady as his twin sons balanced on either side, laughing freely, their faces glowing with joy he had never seen before. They were talking at once, excited, confident, completely unafraid to be loud. Adrian's breath caught. He watched as Clara gently guided them, encouraging teamwork, teaching them to listen to each other, to wait their turn, to cheer when one side rose higher. It wasn't just play, it was connection. Something inside him tightened. These were the moments he had unknowingly paid others to create while he chased numbers on screens. As he stepped closer, he overheard Oliver say, "Daddy never plays like this," and Theo reply, "But Miss Clara stays with us." The words hit harder than any business loss. Adrian felt shame burn through him. Clara noticed him then, her posture stiffening slightly, unsure whether she had crossed a boundary. But Adrian didn't speak. He just watched as she knelt to the twins' level, reminding them kindly to greet their father, her voice warm but respectful. The boys ran to him, not hesitantly, not nervously, but with open arms. Adrian knelt, stunned, holding them as they talked over each other about games, stories, and things he had missed. In that moment, he realized the shock wasn't what the nanny was doing, it was what he had failed to do. Later that evening, as the house settled into quiet, Adrian asked Clara to join him in the study. She expected criticism, maybe even dismissal. Instead, he thanked her. He admitted he had seen something today that money couldn't buy: trust, happiness, and a sense of family his sons desperately needed. Clara spoke honestly, telling him children don't need perfection, they need presence. Her words lingered long after she left the room. That night, Adrian sat alone, reflecting on how close he had come to losing what mattered most while believing he was providing everything. The next morning, he canceled meetings, joined his sons for breakfast, and asked Clara to stay, not just as an employee, but as a partner in raising his children with warmth and balance. The estate felt different after that, alive, human, real. And as the story fades, one truth remains clear: sometimes the greatest wake-up call comes not from loss, but from witnessing love where you least expect it. If this story touched your heart, reminded you of what truly matters, or made you see family through new eyes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because more powerful, emotional stories like this are waiting for you, and you won't want to miss what comes next.